Hi, welcome to Dark Dragon Does Math. We're doing operations with integers. Beside it, you can see I wrote PEMDAS. I actually wrote that on a different video and then decided the lighting was not good, so I restarted. But we all know PEMDAS, or PEMDAS, or however you want to say it. Please excuse my dear Aunt Salary. What it actually means is when we're doing a bunch of different things with different operations at once, like something that looks like this, we have to follow a certain set of rules. And the reason being is if we follow a different set of rules, we'll all get different answers. So as mathematicians, we always want to do the same thing over and over again. So that order is anything in parentheses first, then any exponents we have. Multiplication and division technically are on the same level. We do left to right, and then addition and subtraction we do left to right. So we're going to do a few examples of that. If I have this right here, the first thing I notice is I have parentheses here. I have them here, but they're not really doing anything. So I'm going to worry about these. So 2 minus 10 is negative 8. And then once I do an operation, I'm actually going to completely rewrite everything else. Now the reason being is because if I don't, I often make mistakes. And I don't like making mistakes. I like doing things right the first time. We all make mistakes, but it is what it is. So now I look and I see I have a multiplication right here. So I'm going to do negative 4 times negative 8. Now if I were to actually just do 8 times 4, that's equal to 32. Since this is a negative times a negative, that's equal to a positive. So this is also going to be positive 32. And then I'm just going to write everything else. I have a negative 13 plus 32 plus 8. And once I get to all addition, I'm actually just going to wrap up anything that has the same sign. Do that first. 32 plus 8 is 40. So I have 40 minus 13. So 40 plus a negative 13, that just becomes 40 minus 13, which is equal to 27. If I'm doing this problem, I look left or right. The first thing I see that stands out is the division. This is negative 32 divided by 4. If I did negative 32 divided by 4, well, that's the same thing as 32 divided by 4, but with a negative sign, because there's one negative. So that's going to be negative 8. So we have negative 9 here, negative 21 here. And then they're all actually the same sign, so I can just add them together, right? So 9 minus 8, negative 9 minus 8 more, that's negative 17 minus 21. So basically 17 plus 21 is 38. So this is negative 38. Here, parentheses first, 8 minus 12 goes first. 8 minus 12, well, that's negative 4. And then I want to rewrite everything. Negative 4. So I have minus 5 plus a negative 4 times a negative 4. So we need to do the multiplication next. Negative 4 times negative 4, well, that's a negative times a negative, so it's going to turn into a positive. That's positive 16, and we have negative 5 plus 16. That's the same thing as 16 minus 5, which is 11. Here we have Angela is making a paper box using a piece of rectangular paper. The dimensions of the rectangular paper are 9 by 12. That means the whole thing is 9 by 12. To make the paper box, she cuts 4 identical rectangles from the corners of the paper. So that's this guy, and there's 4 of them. These cut off rectangles are shown in the diagram to the right. What is the area of the paper that remains after these rectangles are cut? So first off, we're starting with a big piece of paper right here that is 9 by 12. Okay? So I'm going to put that in parentheses because that's what we start with. And we're going to cut out 4. So if I cut, I subtract something from it. 4 small rectangles. So what we need to figure out first is what the size of the small rectangles are. We can do that by looking here. You know, let's start with this length right here. So the whole length is 12, right? And once we've cut, what's left over is 8. That means that from here to here, these two added together are equal to 12 minus 8, which is 4. And since there are 2 of them, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Each one of these lengths all around is equal to 2. So it is a 2-inch by, let's find this length. And I don't know if you can see this. You have these two little things right here. I don't know if you've learned this or not, but anytime you see something like that, it's saying every time something that has 2 little lines in it are equivalent. So that's why there's one here, 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 and here. You have 2. The ones are the same thing. There's one here, one here, one here, one here. All of those are equivalent sizes. Anyways, so the whole thing is 9. But when we cut off this length and this length, we're left with 3. So 9 minus 3 is equal to 6. And since there's 2, this plus this is equal to 6. You can do 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And it makes sense. If you think about it, 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 2 more is 12. So just double checking. So we have cut out, we start with a 9 by 12, and then we cut out 4 2 by 3, and we want to figure out what's left. So let's do the multiplication in the parentheses first. 9 times 12, which is 108, minus 4 times, I guess I could do this too. 2 times 3 is 6. Multiplication 4 times 6, that's 24. So there's still a negative there. 108 minus 24 is 84. Now, since this was a word problem, 84 isn't enough. We need to leave a sentence, right? So the question was, what is the area of the paper that remains after the rectangles are cut? So how much is this area? Well, this area is 84 inches, right? So the area of the paper that remains is 84 square inches. And notice I said square inches. Area is always in square inches. Another way to say that would be 84 inches squared, right? Area is always in square, volume is always in cubed, and we'll talk about another day why that is if you're not aware of that right now. But anyways, have a nice day. Math. Oh yeah. He cut 4 identical triangles, so each one of these is the exact same from the corners of the paper. The height of each triangle is half the length of the square. So basically, that side of the paper got divided in half, and then the base is divided in 3. Now each side of this is the same, so that is the same as that is the same as that. So think about one number that you could divide. What number plus another number is equal to 3, because it's 3 by 3. What number plus another number? And make sure that it's even, okay? And so that'll give you a triangle like this, where you know the base, you know the height, and remember a triangle's area is equal to 1/2 base times height. And I'm going to leave it at that. I think you can wrestle with the rest and figure it out. Remember to cut the total that's cut out from the original. And with that, I leave you with only one more statement. M-A-T-H. Good day.